On everybody, this is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and the day is finally here. As of the recording of this video, it is August 1st at midnight. It is going to officially be day one of the unification process of Sprint and T-Mobile, and then we're going to begin with the first phase of the new T-Mobile. Now, a lot of you have told me in emails, I've seen it in other comments on tech blogs, you guys are still really unclear or don't have a real understanding of what this really means or what's actually happening. I know some of you guys that are more tech savvy that keep up with this, you guys have an understanding, but a lot of people, the average consumer, they tune in to a video or two, they read a couple of articles, but they're kind of still unsure as to what's really happening. So I'm being told there are going to be official videos releasing from T-Mobile kind of explaining the unification process and as to what T-Mobile can do with the Sprint accounts or what the Sprint customer can now do in the stores that are being unified. And I think those will come over the next couple of days. Those videos may even launch as early as tomorrow. But what's happening right now is the Sprint stores that haven't been closed yet were shut down early today. And the reason they were shut down early today is because if you had a favorite Sprint store that you've been to plenty of times, you maybe pay your bill there every month or you get your upgrades from that store. The next time you walk into that store, it is likely going to look like a T-Mobile location. And why I say likely, this is taking place on the nationwide scale, but I've been a part of corporations. Sometimes you don't get all the signage you need. Sometimes the package doesn't arrive. So there can be a few hiccups here and there. But on the nationwide scale, all of the Sprint locations internally are going through a changeover, and they're going to look like T-Mobile locations starting tomorrow. So you walk into that Sprint store, you're going to see T-Mobile signs, branding, all that stuff is, and then of course you've already seen the video of the banner that's now going up above those stores if you've been on the channel. So you've seen all that, and that's taking place as we speak. And the reason for them closing the stores early is because they didn't want the store reps to be in there past midnight. So that's why they closed them early, so they had longer time to convert the stores fully over. And there's plenty of other stuff that goes on behind the scenes. There are likely inventory checks. So one gets inventoried out, the next one gets inventoried in. We just don't know the full extent of it. And on that part of the retail, we likely won't know that publicly. Like T-Mobile's not going to come on and say, hey, we just did an inventory check and this store was short 5,000 on inventory. Those are more for internal documents, P&R reports, profit and loss reports. Those are going to be discussed internally. But what people are asking publicly is, can I still walk into a T-Mobile store and take care of my Sprint things? And the answer is yes. What I don't know is to what extent. Like, are these Sprint reps really going to have access to the the T-Mobile reps, are they really going to have full access to the Sprint system? Who knows? Are those T-Mobile reps really going to sit there and take care of a Sprint rep 30 minutes and lose out on sales because they have an issue? I don't know if that's going to be the case. I'm being told, like I said, everything I say is unconfirmed, not official, but I'm being told the T-Mobile store reps are not likely to make any real money off of the Sprint transactions. So that could probably hinder a lot of T-Mobile reps from helping Sprint customers. Like if a Sprint customer comes in and says, I have a problem with my Hulu account or my Tidal account or whatever the case may be, it's just very unlikely that a T-Mobile rep is going to sit there for 30 minutes to an hour to help figure this out, lose out on sales. They're likely going to just direct them to call the actual third party directly, like Hulu and Tidal, and fix that issue on their end, which I can see that happening. But being that I've been in sales for so long, every little transaction can help you long term. So say I help out this Sprint customer I deal with them 30, 45 minutes an hour. Yeah, I lost out on a bunch of sales, a bunch of foot traffic coming in. I'm not able to sell because I'm helping out this customer. Now this customer was satisfied. He liked my service. Now he or she is going back home. Maybe 2 to 3 months later, they come back and say, "Hey, look, we want to migrate over to T-Mobile, and we want to bring all of our lines over, and we want to do it with you because you helped us with our issue back then." So little things like that can take you a very long way. Excuse me. So I hope some of you T-Mobile and Sprint reps out there that are converting right now, I hope you guys are hearing this and take this advice. I hope you guys, really make that happen. But I know there are going to be some out there that are going to just say, "Nah, I can't help you with this. We're not allowed to, blah, blah, blah." Go with the third party and call them directly. And, I guess you can look at it from that way. But I think if you help that customer with that problem, I think it'll take you a long way. So that's just some of the points that I wanted to point out in this video. Probably will be a longer video. But another thing that a lot of people have emailed me about, and I know it's been discussed on other platforms already, but I've said this when the trial was still ongoing, even before that, when the merger announcement was first made. This merger potentially could have its up and downs like a roller coaster. And the pandemic is not helping, of course. So there's been talks that American Tower, SBA, Crown Castle all came out in a statement and said that T-Mobile's 5G rollout is slower than expected. Now, people have asked me, well, what does that even mean, slower than expected? Did they have a certain expectation? Was there something sent to the companies that stated that T-Mobile was going to do this amount of towers? And I think that was the case. I think T-Mobile had a expectation set that they were going to do this amount of towers and then this amount of towers. But what happened was, and I can see why this is made publicly and why this became article and it being talked about. But what I don't understand is Neville Ray kind of stated early on that the Band 41 rollout would kind of start off slow, and then it would pick up in the later part of the year. That's what he said. So to my understanding, that's the case. They wanted to shoot for 1,000 towers per month, which it seems that they're not even hitting that right now, which is okay. The pandemic, they're going to blame it on that anyway. So we're going to let that slide. But then after the fact, they did state that they were going to do 5,000 cell sites overlays with N41. After that, when it ramps up, they're going to do 5,000 per month, and then they're going to push that into next year. Now, with the kind of cases kind of spiking in a lot of counties, the municipality aren't operating as normal. So just keep that in mind. That is hindering T-Mobile from pushing out the cell sites on their end. I'm sure they're ready. Neville and team have the plan set up. The funding is there. Whatever they're going to spend, they want to be right around that $13.3 billion mark on a yearly basis on the CapEx. But right now, it's kind of looking like they're going to come in on the lower end, even around the time that they said they would ramp up, which would have been around Q3, Q4 of this year. It is like they likely won't get to the total 5,000 amount that they planned on per month. I'm letting you guys know that right now. That's not going to be the case. They're gonna try to shoot for more, but they're not going to get to that 5,000 per month goal. I don't think. Like I said, I don't have anything official on that. I've been speaking with a few people, but I don't think they'll get to that goal this year. I think they can do that sometime next year, but there are still, like I said, the cases are spiking. There's stuff still being canceled. Businesses are still affected. The economy is still slower. So it's not going as planned for anyone, not just T-Mobile, other businesses. It's not going as planned. If you guys have seen, CES is already canceled in person in 2021. So that's going to be all digital. So schools are affected still. So nothing is going as planned for any business. So we'll just have to stay tuned and see what the outcome is for T-Mobile. But the second that they can push more sites per month. They are ready to make that happen on a quarterly basis. Now, to end this video off, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. I know we've talked about it a few times already, but maybe you're new to the channel or your opinion has changed. Again, right now with the pandemic the way it is and what's happening, every company is changing their strategy on the fly. T-Mobile's doing the same. At the very original plan that they had given the public, kind of sorta, they were going to use the band 41 spectrum, which is the very important spectrum that they got from Sprint. They were going to push it all over to 5G, which I didn't agree with early on. A lot of people told me they didn't agree with that either. But now we're seeing that, hey, look, it seems like they may be changing their strategy, and now we're kind of seeing that split mode that the Massive MIMO can do. Some people have stated that the band 41 on the T-Mobile tower went live, and they've seen 60 megahertz go to 5G and 40 go to LTE. I think that's the smart thing to do. You don't know right now during the pandemic. Like I said, the numbers are not the same. You just don't know as a company how many customers you're going to be able to migrate to 5G devices. The iPhone coming with a 5G modem is going to be huge. That's a dream come true for all companies. AT&T, Verizon, they have a large Apple base, customer base, so that's big for them. T-Mobile is also starting to gain a iPhone base, so that would be big for them as well. But you just don't know how many customers you're going to actually be able to migrate right now. People are reprioritizing. They're not really prioritizing a $1,500, $1,600, $1,400 phone, whatever the price is for the iPhone 12. So people may stick around another year with the phone that they have now, which is LTE. So if you have an iPhone 11, 11 Pro Max, 10R, 10S Max, you're still on LTE. So T-Mobile still has to keep in mind they have to cater to that customer still. Right now you're gaining organic growth still. We'll see on August 6th. But I think the numbers are going to show that T-Mobile is still gaining organic growth. Then they're still getting the migration of the Sprint customer in two ways. So there are some Sprint customers that are migrating over to T-Mobile plans, which will still put them on the T-Mobile network. And then you have the Sprint customer that remains on their Sprint plan, but their phone has been converted over to the T-Mobile network. So now your load on the network is completely different as it was maybe even 2 or 3 months ago, because now you have the additional Sprint customer on the network. You got the organic growth, meaning you got customers from MVNO basis, from AT&T, from Verizon, TracFone, whatever the case may be. You're organically growing those customers. So your load is very, very heavy on the LTE network. You're pushing unlimited. So a lot of your newer customers are going to be unlimited. You really back then didn't push a lot of tiered gigabyte plans. So a large part of your customer base on T-Mobile is likely unlimited. So I'm telling you guys right now, that network is taking on a lot of traffic. So T-Mobile has to be kind of careful on how they go about this. They don't want to make the experience bad enough to where the customer reconsiders and they go back to the competition. They want to try to keep that customer. They want to try to keep that churn low. Well, it's time to act. Now it's really the time to act. You're about to go into day one of the unification. The network is on a large part is really not ready. To be honest with you guys, it's not ready to carry that much traffic additionally. So you're going to see a decline in speeds. I'm letting you guys know that right now. Like I said, unofficially, I have a buddy that has access to the Ookla speed test reports that are sent to the carriers live daily. T-Mobile is slowing down tremendously. Sprint's towers are being decommissioned. They're being ripped apart. 5G is being decommissioned. LTE band 41 is being decommissioned. So they're tanking. Sprint speeds are tanking as well. So Sprint speeds are tanking because the spectrum is being pulled off the network. T-Mobile is tanking because they're taking on a huge amount of traffic onto the network. While in the meantime, AT&T is completely taken off on their speeds. They're pushing out 5, 6, 7 carriers where they've only had 2 in the past, 2 carriers. They're pushing the backhaul to new limits. Verizon is rolling out CBRS at a crazy pace. They're in the auction right now, spending heavily. C-band is coming up. They're rolling out towers. They're rolling out small cells with millimeter wave. So they are pushing it to the max. And Verizon is increasing as well. AT&T is just blowing through the roof on the speed averages. FirstNet is even faster on the higher priority. So T-Mobile has their work cut out for them. I think they know that. I think they have a very good perception and idea of what's taking place right now. They know the network is the product, so that's very important. But as you guys will see over the next few weeks, their marketing team is excellent. So they're going to be marketing this integration very, very big. The new T-Mobile, these are our new plans. They're going to push that out into the market space. Like I said in my previous videos, they're still looking to be competitive. They're going for new plans. There's some other early things that I'm getting told that are in its infancy stages that I'll let you guys know about here in the coming weeks. But they're looking at a lot of different things now that weren't planned while the merger was ongoing. So before the trial was over, while they were during the trial, the plan now has changed drastically. They're trying to do different things that weren't necessarily discussed early on. Not bad for the merger part, but just different things that T-Mobile is going to implement and how they, not how they run the business, but how they're effectively going to change the network strategy and become a better network. Because you could say now is the time to play for them. They're now, hanging with the big boys, so to speak. They want to bring in that higher end customer. They want to compete for first responders. They want to compete for the business customer. So they gotta bring it, man. They gotta bring it. They gotta spend big, and they gotta make it happen. So if you have been on the channel, you can go ahead and end this video now. But if you are new to the channel, you like the content, you want to hear more, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload content. And also follow the Twitter as well. I do post the videos on there as well, so you guys have 2 platforms where you can push notifications. I'm telling you guys, I'm still getting emails. I see it on Twitter. YouTube is just not pushing out notifications in a timely manner. And sometimes you can be a whole week without seeing a specific video. So I would encourage you guys to shift over to the Twitter, because they're usually really spot on and quick with pushing out notifications. So that way you know when the videos launch on the platform. And this is Tyrone with Tech Life. I thank you guys for sticking around for this longer video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.